Is that a gift or?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, fire away.
Okay, so I was going to ask this of Jensen, but I feel like you might have an answer for us. Will Mary get to drive the Impala?
I wouldn't rule that out. She knows that car very well, and she was quite very surprised to see it still in working order and looking good. So, yeah, I think she'll probably get behind the wheel.
And what's that relationship kind of going to look like?
It's a very odd relationship in the beginning. The only thing she really knew of her children was a toddler and a baby. Not more than a toddler, but young. Now they're grown men doing something that she probably wouldn't have picked for them to do. And I think she's a little disappointed in that. But that's the way things worked out. And if she could talk to John, she probably would have said to him, "Why did you do this?" On the other hand, she understands his mania for it, why he turned to hunting. She's also a person at a time, when she passed away, there was no internet. I don't think she knew even how to do a cell phone. One thing we play is that when she's helping them on a particular hunt, she says, "Well, I guess we should go knock on doors and go down to the Hall of Records and all this." And they go, "No, we can pretty much do all that here." So, it's a real adjustment for her, and, a little uncomfortable, doesn't quite know what her place in this world is. She was taken out of heaven where, as you probably know, our heaven is a version where you just kind of relive your favorite time. For Bobby, it was sitting, reading a book and drinking and, fishing. For Mary, it was being with her infant child and her young son. And this is a whole other thing. So it's a hard transition for her.
One of the episodes the fans really responded to last season was Baby, and that was because of how kind of small scale and intimate it was about the brothers. Now that we're kind of done with God and Nora, and this is more like a family dynamic this season, can we expect more moments like that, with maybe just Sam and Dean sitting in the car with Mary, or...
Baby was it was a really special episode, and that was, I don't think anybody other than Robbie could have written that, and Tom Wright did a spectacular job directing it. Technically that was a really hard show to do. I think this season, just the way we planned it, is going to be more intimate than certainly that sort of big Uber story we told last year. And I think having Mom and all that really sort of adds to that. In the first batch, I think we're telling some stories that are maybe a little, at least in structure, reminiscent of some of the earlier stuff we did, before the mythology really started kicking off, and we had to keep building on that. I think we went about as far as we could go with God and Tomorrow. So this is a more intimate season for sure.
Since the Mother Diamond was the thing that more or less kicked off the Winchester story, do you think the show's sort of coming full circle now?
Well, yeah, sure. It's it's a return of sort of an iconic character in the sense that even though he was very brief in the pilot, it's the impetus for the show. So to have that character back does bring it full circle. And again, as I said, these, sort of dealing with the oddity of the situation, Dean really relishes this, having his mother back. Sam never really knew her. She only knew Sam as a baby. It's just odd, she sort of in a way questions, or some people would question, that's Amara's gift, but is that what really you would have wanted? So we think there's some really interesting stuff to play there.
Since you're going to be focusing more on the family dynamic this season, will we be getting more flashbacks?
I don't know that we've planned any more flashbacks specifically. We're not. Getting Jeffrey Dean Morgan is probably not going to happen. He's busy, and there are times where when we start writing these stories, where we just sort of say, a flashback might be good here. We can, do that. We flashback a lot. That's not a new trick for us. So it's certainly good at it.
So what about?
By the way, Eric used to say right in the beginning, I don't want to do any flashbacks. Eric had some of these rules, right? And he and I would, we worked wonderfully together, and I love him dearly, right? And we didn't want to do dissolves, didn't want to do flashbacks. He had these things, right? And then there was one episode early on where I was like, God, we really need a flashback to what happened here, right? And he said, no. So we shot the episode and we cut the episode. And he and I were in the editing room together, and he looked at me and he goes, "You should really see what happened in this." And I went up and shot a flashback, and then so after that, there's no flashback rule in the system anymore. Thanks, Alex. So yeah, we go to flashbacks.
Are there any other kind of? It's interesting from the very beginning. Are there any other kind of rules you had with storylines or with characters that you found yourself having to break? Being the show's been on so long?
Well, originally Eric wanted to, the sort of Uber mythology thing was sort of just evolved. Eric wanted to do what he called Googleable urban legends and things like that, right? Well, we found out by episode 7 or 8 is we're running out of decent urban legends, right? And so the show started really evolving about the search for Dad, and that's what it's become. What we did find out is if you go with really good monsters / villains who have their own personality and have a character of their own, and Eric used to say in his pieces, the good villain is the hero of his own story, and we've always tried to sort of do that to make the monsters interesting, and that's probably been the smartest thing we've done. They're just not stock vampires or stock werewolves. They all have their own story. Okay, that it?
Thanks.
Great. Thank you guys.
Thank you.